Dale and Jerry, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How are you guys doing?
Great.
Oh, hold on one second here. I don't know what happened here. There we go. All right, now we're back on. How's it going?
Are we on?
We're on. We were on the whole time. It's just
Test 1, 2, sibilance.
computers going on here.
Yeah, the computer doesn't know what's going on.
Check.
So we had some questions when it came to shrimping and
You did.
how
You
your
guys were-
shrimping went. First things first, how did it go the other day?
We had a wildly successful day again. So the 3 days we've been out, we've done well. We got a pot with, we dropped 5 pots and limited for 4 of us. You know, we dropped 8, but we pulled 5 out and we were done.
Oh,
pulled the other 3 out of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We gave a few extra shrimp to some people that didn't quite do as well.
So the one question that I had was how the shrimp get in there. Is this you understand the depths of where you're dropping, so you have to have that much rope to hit the bottom?
Yes. And if you don't have enough rope, bye-bye.
Yeah.
That's right. The thing comes off the spool, and next thing you know,
Well, just your
buoy sinks.
Your buoy sinks below the surface,
And then you can't find
'cause
where
the
your
pot's
pot
heavy
is.
and
Yeah.
all that stuff in there.
It's hard enough to find the
Interesting.
pot even with a buoy up there because there's so many buoys. But yeah, you want to make sure that you have enough rope and feel it hit the bottom before you let go.
And the speed that you pull it up is important too, right?
Yeah, mostly it's consistent. You don't want to jerk it around, and when you stop, they go.
Yeah.
because
And
they swim.
Oh.
So you just want to kind of make it steady flow coming up. So when you got to take weights off the rope, or you got an extension and you got to get in, and you just want to make sure it's steady pull up. Not really fast, not a speed thing,
I
but
feel like last year was a terrible shrimp season. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
well,
Couple
we had
years
fun
ago?
last
Yeah.
year too. So
Yeah.
I think maybe 2 years ago, there was maybe a challenge for us. It's so wildly different. So I talked to some friends of ours yesterday, and they had a miserable day on the Wednesday before, and so they didn't even go out last Saturday
Oh, wow.
because they had such a
Yeah.
terrible experience.
Yeah.
In fact, I've talked to 2 couples like that. So
That's too bad.
It's
Now,
location.
How long do you leave the cage in the water?
hour and a half to 2 hours.
Okay.
You got a 4-hour day.
An hour to an hour and a half. You said an hour and a half to 2 hours. Sorry.
Yeah.
We don't want to mislead anybody.
Okay. All right. And that's just our way of doing it. There's
Because if you go and you do it, you drop them at 9:15, whatever, 10:15,
9:01. You're dropping.
10:01, you're pulling it back up. That helps you understand whether or not you need to do another drop.
Right,
It doesn't sound like you had to.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit more flexibility because sometimes you pull it up and you got like 40, which is half a limit, so you want to do that second pot
Right.
or less. So it really gets to be artful, and then the depth seems to have a bit to do with it. However, we had one of the people that we know go out to like 300 feet or 400 feet, right in that 3 to 4, and they didn't get anything in their pots. And then when you're inside of 300, it seems to be better, and we anywhere from 300 to 220 seem to be a good depth. And the last time, well, one of the times we were in real shallow with an old pot, and the people we were shrimping with had this old pot that he's been teased about getting rid of, and the old pot was the one that we got 151 shrimp in one
So
pull.
something will still be working right.
Yeah,
it works just
so
fine.
And you put bait in the cage?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So we put cat food in there
Oh,
and other stuff.
nice.
Other secret stuff.
Make it all nice and stinky.
Yeah.
So they'll like it.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, and that draws them, of course, to them. And they're, shrimp, I'm sure, just like any other type of fish, they kind of get in a ball wherever the food is. And sometimes, you're outside of that area where maybe there is a ball of shrimp or, whatever. But it's just like fishing. Sometimes you're fishing and sometimes you're catching.
Yep, that's true.
A lot of time
true.
you're fishing, not
Do you ever
catching.
get any other creatures in there? or-
Oh yes,
Yeah.
we've had 3 octopus.
Oh,
3
wow.
octopi.
Sure.
So one 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Octopi. I like
Yeah.
that.
So they were just little guys.
Oh.
And they're cute. I mean, they really are. And then when you throw them back in the water, they spew that ink, that brown ink out,
Yeah.
and they camouflage. You couldn't hardly even see this one, except I saw the legs dangling out.
Oh, my
Oh, wow.
out of the pot when we
goodness.
pulled it in.
Wow.
And so we 3 octopi, and then we had a crab sitting on top of one of our pots when we pulled it up one day
Oh,
too.
love that.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
allowed
Did
to
you
eat
keep that?
those things if you
No,
wanted?
it wasn't big enough to save.
Besides that, it got
It's not
off.
crab season
Yeah.
yet.
And it's not crab season. What about the octopus?
We put them back in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
you
we
can
tried
eat
it
that.
carefully so we
Sure.
didn't destroy them or anything. You know?
What are the sizes of the shrimp? They good looking or?
Well, they varied, but there's some pretty good fatties this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty
Cool.
nice. So you'll see without heads what you got.
Yeah, well, these come. What you'll see is it's the way I cook them and have cleaned them. It's a matter of like popcorn shrimp
Oh,
is what
okay.
it'll be like to you. But when they're raw, they're probably about 3 to 4 inches, maybe 5 inches long.
wow.
But then half of that is the head,
Oh,
And you pull that off.
and you remove that, and so then
So
all
did
you
you
have is the
clean them
body.
yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
how long
nice.
does that take?
Yeah, we usually clean them out there, and then
Like green beans?
yeah.
Kind of like green
Yeah.
beans. And you usually pull the heads out while you're out there and then just put the heads back in the water.
I'd imagine that's food for another
Absolutely.
level of the
Yeah.
spectrum.
Exactly right. That's
Very
right.
cool.
Yeah.
Last big night last night.
Yes. First of all, congratulations to all of the new council members.
Yes.
Cool.
To Bob Rogers for being chosen as the mayor, and Deidre Peterson for being the vice mayor.
Deputy mayor.
Deputy mayor. There we go. What it was called.
Mayor of Vice. No,
yeah.
wait, that's not it.
And
I like
last
vice mayor.
yeah. And last night there was a breath of fresh air there where you did not hear bickering, but you did have different opinions about some of the stuff that came up.
They
Cool.
acted like adults.
Yeah,
last
they
night,
acted
did
like
they?
adults. Well, and the other part was a matter of studying the material. There was 3 of them for sure that studied the material and then was able to comment on and ask questions specific to that material, which I haven't seen as much before. And anyway, and they were good questions, and that everything was not in total agreement. I believe.
And that's okay sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At this time, Councilman Krantz had suggested that they start the meetings earlier because they start at 7:00. And last night's meeting, I left it at I think about 9:30, and
Sure.
it was still going.
Oh, that is
So
late.
yeah. So anyway, he wanted to push it back to 6:00 start, and another councilperson, Deidre Peterson, said. No, we just recently changed this, and we changed it because the public wanted to be more involved, and if we want public involvement, then we need to meet their schedule.
Well, plus, it was the first meeting with all the pomp and
Yeah, it
circumstance.
was
They're
gonna,
not all
it was
going
gonna
to.
go long.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah,
thought was that
it's
they're going to
like-
be able to zip through these a
Right,
little better
right,
too.
right.
moving
Well,
forward.
Once
and-
they know what they're doing.
yeah, sure.
And last night's meeting, the actual selection process was a little bit cumbersome because that's the first time they'd gone
Yeah.
through it, and also there was an event, the swearing-in event, and a lot of family members. It was a
Oh,
well-attended
yeah.
meeting.
Pictures.
I mean,
taken
it was
and all
that's
that,
what
yeah.
you get.
Yeah.
Well-attended meeting, and then
Oh, good.
so and a pleasant,
Yeah.
surprise, if you would, and with a lot of hope for the community that the ship is starting to maybe change the previous course a little bit to engage more people and embrace what we need to do.
And that is important. You know, you need everyone's input.
That's cool.
Oh, it is. So that was really good. I was very impressed with that.
Oh, good.
All right,
Very
well,
nice.
Well, you see that Audible's ramped up their television advertising now that I'm
I
part of
saw
the-
that.
part
It's
of
all
the
over the place.
Plan. Yeah,
Anything else going on in the audiobook world?
I'm working on pickups. They're called pickups, changing the little mistakes that hard to believe. I made a couple of mistakes in this
No
in this
way. Come
in this
on.
9-hour book. So the rights holder, the author, she's nice, and she went through the entire thing and wrote back the little list that I've got. But she has to get that to the clearinghouse so they can reopen. I don't have any access to that. All my chapters right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
as soon
Back,
as she gives them the green light to flip the switch there, and
the behind the scenes on this is pretty cool to
It-
learn about this kind of
It
stuff.
totally is.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
because
so
I never really thought about that. My goal was always to be a cartoon character in a movie, Pixar or something. You know.
Yeah.
And you ever did that?
I haven't done that.
That sounds
Yet.
fun.
Add it to the resume.
I know.
Get
Yeah.
that out there.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
another connections or something.
But
like
yeah,
That's
books
cool.
on tapes are great. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Especially with people's commutes nowadays.
Oh, I know. I know.
and so long. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, every conversation I mention that, they go, "Oh man, when I go to Eastern Wash or whatever, they're
Yeah.
driving, they're commuting."
Yeah.
So many people use audiobooks now, so that's very cool.